Okay, so a few days ago, you may have watched this video. I talked about how George included some mystery projects in the same sentence as his other Game of Thrones live action projects, and I said, that's a bit suspicious. If it was for something else, he probably would have not included it in the sentence with the other Game of Thrones projects. Well, for once in my life, I was right, and we are getting 3 new Game of Thrones spin-off shows. Rawr, baby, rawr. It means I love you in dinosaur. There are 3 shows, like I literally just said. I don't know, maybe you have amnesia. Poor memory. I'm excited for 2. The last one I'll talk about just seems so stupid. I don't know why you picked that, HBO. I just assume you have a case of the stupids. It afflicts us all. I'm currently suffering from it too. So first, we are getting a spinoff just on the sea snake, so Corlys Velaryon. Now, we are going to see him in House of the Dragon. He's going to be a major player, but we're also going to see him during his voyages when he was spending a lot of time in Essos. And you know, if you've been around this channel for a while, I have been begging for some Essos and even some Sothoros, some shows based on that. We're getting an entire fucking show watching this epic captain sail around to these exotic, crazy places in the A Song of Ice and Fire world. Holy shit. It's like, well, girls don't have wet dreams. What do I have? It's like, I don't know, it's really exciting. So I don't know if they're going to use the House of the Dragon and just show him being an absolute bamf, and then we're going to be able to see his younger years. I think it would be really cool, and I know it's not going to happen this way. If we did the first season of House of the Dragon, if there is more than one season, then we go to the Sea Snake, seeing some of his voyages, so people are already familiar with him and have more of an incentive to be like, oh, I want to check out this show with this dude. But, you know, even if you don't like him in the show, you should like that we're going to see some of the crazier places in the Game of Thrones world, the A Song of Ice and Fire world. And I have a lot of do not visit Essos videos, so if you want to start diving into such places, watch it. Or just read the World of Ice and Fire book. It's totally worth it. Just go to the Essos section. You're gonna love it. So that's one. The second one is equally exciting. It's the 10,000 Ships, which follows Nymeria fleeing with her people, and she ends up going to Dorne, where she mixes with House Martell, and they end up conquering Dorne and becoming the prince and princesses of that area. So it's the setup to Dorne. And if you're thinking, oh, I didn't like Dorne in the show, I get it. But we're going to see early Dorne when we have all these different houses fighting for control, and before we even see Dorne, we're going to see Nymeria traveling with her people to different locations, and she spends a considerable amount of time in Sothoros. And if you have watched any of my Do Not Visit videos, or perhaps even read a fucking chapter on that devil continent, you know it is the scariest motherfucking place ever, and we get to spend time there in a live action show. HBO, man, you left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth without consent for the last season of Game of Thrones. But if you are getting us to explore the different places of Essos and the scary fucking places of Sothoros, I love you again. My love is very fickle though, so don't fuck this up. And hell, if we get multiple seasons, we might not even see Dorne in the first season. So if you're, still really upset about Dorne, you might not even see it. We might just get one season. She, has a bunch of her people killed on different islands, goes on to Sothoros. Some of her people go into Yin, just totally slaughtered. I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had before she even gets to Westeros. Now, I'm very excited for the Sea Snake and Nymeria in a live-action show exploring their adventures. So let's get to the last show that, why? HBO? Out of all the things in the world of Ice and Fire, why this? So the final show will be about Flea Bottom. Yes, the slums of King's Landing. That's what they're gonna center a show around. Now, this is gonna sound very terrible and prejudiced, what I'm about to say. So if you're one of those people that are a Twitter warrior, just Plug your little ears, okay, for 30 seconds. Why are we following around the peasants and small folk of King's Landing? Are we just gonna see the scrappy adventures of them surviving in the slums? Why waste money and budget on that? They have a shit life. We don't need to see more people having a shit life. I want to see adventures. I want to see exploring other areas. We spent a lot of time in King's Landing, and I'm just going to be frank here, I don't give a shit about the slums of King's Landing. And if you do, wow. Neat. Okay. You and I have vastly different ideas of what is entertainment. I want to see fucking dragons. I want to see people exploring Essos and people being destroyed by demons and seeing the edge of the world. And I want them to go to Stharios where there's ghouls and cannibals in the jungle. I don't want to see we're stealing food to survive. I'm trying to escape reality, not see more of it. Now, I guess you could say when it's focusing on Flea Bottom and King's Landing could greatly change it because there's been a lot of different events, big events at King's Landing, riots and such. So maybe if they focus on a certain interesting time period, or rather they could focus on that specific area in King's Landing through the history of the Seven Kingdoms and seeing how the different events played out and affected those people in Flea Bottom. My guess how it would affect them is, you know, just like all of us working class, just fucked over repeatedly, while the upper classes just get to have a good fucking time. Yay! Another show to up my blood pressure. I guess if I were to say, would I rather see The Long Night that got canceled show, or would I rather see a show on Flea Bottom? I would rank The Long Night above Flea Bottom, and I wasn't really excited for The Long Night. So I don't... Why not focus on the Dothraki? If you want to, like, do a specific people, why not focus on the Andals and their invasion of the Seven Kingdoms? I don't know why you're picking such a small area to focus on. Also, and, you know, I know beggars can't be choosers. Just, I want anything Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire at this point. I'm just happy with whatever I get. But, you know, I have to bitch too, because it just fills my inner pettiness level. Or meter, or whatnot. Why'd you wait so long, HBO? So you made this whole thing about wanting to delay doing anything Game of Thrones till years after the main show because you didn't want it tied in or to saturate the market with Game of Thrones, and then you realized, oh shoot, we made a mistake, and now you're going to saturate the market, which is fine. I'm going to enjoy it, but, you know, there are a lot of people that don't watch YouTube videos on Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire. They watch a show, and that's it. They go about their day. And you really needed to get those people suckered in. And by having not only a terrible final season to Game of Thrones, but waiting years afterwards, not a good idea. You made a bad move. And I'm not even an executive. I'm just a scientist. A scientist is telling you how to do your job. My God. So I don't know if this is going to be a mistake. I have a feeling like Nymeria and the Sea Snake maybe we'll get one season of each. I think Flea Bottom is going to work out like The Long Night, where they film it and then they're like, wow, we need to fire whoever decided to do this and scrap it and just pretend like, oh, it was just a favor for this one guy to produce this show. We didn't really think it was going to work. Seriously though, so I can end this video on a happy note, I am so excited about the Nymeria and Sea Snake one, and one seeing a badass dude sailing around the world, my dream, why I'm a certified captain. So I'm just going to adore that, and the fact that it's this guy sailing around a fictional world that I love. One fictional world that I love. Nymeria is going to be fun in the way that you're seeing her people drop as she's trying to save her people and sail away and find a new home. And all these new, it's like a horror. It's gonna be like a horror show. Every episode, oh my goodness, we find this new location. oh God, these terrible things are happening to us. We need to get the fuck out. It's gonna be the best. It's going to be the best. But you know what? Maybe you are just super excited for the Flea Bottom show, and it's just, you're over there just shaking with excitement. So if you are, let me know in the comment section down below why the Flea Bottom show is going to be the best Game of Thrones show we have ever seen, and how just completely wrong I am, and that everybody wants a show centered on Flea Bottom. Like, subscribe, and if you are more interested in the Nymeria and Sea Snake shows, I love you.